was frozen for the minute. There we go. It finally came back to life. Cool. So I noticed one cool new thing I did not notice before, so I just thought I'd start off with that so we can start kind of wetting your whistles on thinking of what questions you want to ask because this is really about here to be here for a Q&A for everybody to share your strategies that are working or not working, to network with each other in your respective businesses. I mean, it's all included. It's a wide open net. You can do lots of things. This is here to basically, this is here for all of you to take your businesses to the next level. There we go, share. One thing I found recently, because something that's been very confusing to me since I started using PeakConnector, was confusing to me myself, and that was whenever someone got set up a new appointment, I would come into calendars and then appointments, and I would have to hunt for quite some time to actually find where that appointment was, which I thought that's odd. They should be in some kind of order. And in here you can see uh, it's not about the moment the appointment was made, it's about the date the appointment was made for that it gets sorted. So it messes me up because now I can't find it. And so I want to find it quickly because I want to see and make sure everything's set up right. So they're all mixed up. You can see 30-minute automation, then there's this J, there's Brian, Three Amigos. Then we're back to automation, J, Three Amigos, and then there's a bunch of others. And so I thought, man, there's got to be a way. And today I finally looked around and I saw this customized list. So I'm like, ooh, I can do filters. And then I saw this, save as new. So what does that mean? It means a smart list, just like contacts. You can do this in the contacts as well, which is even more powerful. I can show that to you if you're interested. But so here I would just say, please select calendar. I would say is, and I would give the calendar I want only to see if I chose that smart list. And those, once you save them by a certain name, they show up here. So I can click on, well, give me only Ask the Expert appointments. There they are. So that one's great. Then I said, give me only automation discovery call. There they are, right down the road. So now I've got all of my upcoming appointments right there in front of me per calendar because I don't know if you're aware, but you can have unlimited calendars in your account. And I've got a boatload of them myself under calendar settings. This thing will go on and on. I have 3 pages of calendars in here. And so for me, that became very important to be able to sift and sort and filter and find. And so that's been wonderful, wonderful godsend. So that was what I wanted to kick it off with. And then don't forget, wear out this button right here. Support is phenomenal. Ooh.
Well, back up for a second, Brian. Why would you have 3 pages of calendars? Tell me what the strategy is there.
It's not really a strategy. It's just whenever I had something new that I wanted to be able to schedule, I would just drop it in as a new calendar. So, I'd call it something different and I would have responses built in that would be different based on that someone set an appointment would be an example. So sometimes I
Okay.
have follow-up sequence. I have a generic follow-up sequence for a grouping
Right.
of calendars. And then I have specific follow-up sequences. I'm talking about workflows for specific calendars that I want to be different, that I want to say something different and have a nurture sequence different. But you can
Got it.
also change, for that each respective calendar, you can also update your availability times, if you want to.
Okay.
So it's a great, and you can have multiple different calendars. So one of them I have in here. Let me go back to the calendar settings. That's a great question though. Bum, bum, bum. I have a group. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Class booking. So these are phenomenal for exactly what you're doing, Gordon, which is to be able to have more than one person be scheduled for a call. So let's say you're doing a group Zoom call and you're going to pitch precious metals, which is the very calendar I set up for you in your account, was a
Yeah.
class booking calendar. And so now more than one person can be in that same exact slot, and you can configure it. What's the maximum if you want a maximum? Let's see. These were okay. I'll just use this one. This is another one I did to do this for a whole different reason. So this is an example. I put availability. So in this case, I was building this using her availability. This was another colleague of mine. That's another thing you can do is set up a calendar with a colleague. They don't have to get an entire new account if you get their availability time. Let's say, Gordon, you want to do it. I forgot the guy's name. Your mentor or whatever, the guy you came in under,
Sam?
Sam. And let's say, you want to set up a calendar where people can set up a time to get on a Zoom call with Sam. So you'll need Sam's information for that, right? His availability. So you can set it up here, and he won't have to get his own PeakConnector account as one example. And then you could add Sam as a staff member to your account so that you can then send messaging his way and reminders his way. So it just adds a boatload of flexibility to it. Hello, Sierra. Welcome back. No meal today. Doggone it. I was counting on you for that.
I was eating a protein bar while I was stuck in the waiting room.
Oh, stuck. Wow. I literally just saw you and hit admit immediately. Zoom is weird. Sometimes it takes it a long time. All right. Yeah, so it's
So,
very,
so, so these all feed into your primary Google Calendar. You just have
yes.
the sort set up for different types of business or different connections.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense
You
then.
can use them
Thank
for different projects, which I've done on many occasions. So here's a good one. Ask the expert. I used to hold a webinar on advanced live video mastery, which was for live video shows. And
you.
I
Yeah.
did that for quite a long time. So I had an offer at the end was simply a no cash offer, no payment offer of you can get on a call with me for an hour and we'll have a meeting. And so I created a calendar for that. It has the branding, it has Ask the Expert. Each calendar you can put a different logo, different picture, all kinds of things you can do with them. So you want to make it, very pointed and focused at what your meeting's going to be about and what it's about. This is automation discovery call. This is what I just started doing very recently, and that is when I do the Peak Connector webinar, which I just did yesterday. I have a dual offer now. They can either buy now or they can schedule a call if they have additional questions. I just threw that in there. And as a result, I got 6 calendar appointments from just that one tweak. But that was a very unique, another unique calendar. So I'll show you where that is so you can further visualize this. Let's see, discovery is the keyword. And there it is. So I take that calendar and I embed it in a web page. So, it looks decent. The branding is similar to the webinar that I had, the colors, in other words.
Sure.
The fonts are the same. So I take that calendar as well, and you can see this is the part that would be unique to that calendar. And, of course, the length and the description. So that's, I know I'm going farther than what you asked there, Gordon, but I was hoping to really hammer home the point that they're awesome to have multiple calendars.
And you could set them up individually for your team members as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can set up like what I think they call it round robin, and you could actually
Yep.
have all of your team members availability. You want to have your team members availability already locked in the staff area. So we go to settings, my staff, and oh yeah, I got a lot of people in here. I don't have anybody else on my calendar that's in here. Well, Stevie might be in here. I might have added her. I'm almost sure I did. I did. That's a good one. There it is. User availability. Yeah, we hammered on this. We spent a lot of time, her and I, to get this right, time zones and all that. So I have her in there. So you could put in a calendar and you could literally add 2 or all team members to that calendar so that there's more availability across the spectrum. And you can also have the calendar enable them to select who they want to be appointed with as well. So think of a barbershop or a hair salon. They have their chosen one that they want to always do that with. So they'll see everybody, but they can select the one they want. That's an example of that. So it's just, yeah, incredibly flexible. Incredibly flexible. Great questions. Love it, love it, love it. Keep them coming. Who else has a question? Come on, Ciara. I know you've got it in you.
I don't know if I have a question per se, or maybe I do. I built a funnel for like a membership type thing. But then I was wondering what how would we integrate like a mentorship type package with the memberships option? Because I haven't quite looked at what that is.
All right. Well, I guess I need to understand what both mean. A mentorship. What is that? Is a coaching program?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
right now it's just set up as a subscription
Okay.
that they just pay every month. But then I was like, well, should I integrate it with the memberships
Oh,
and make something out of that for it? I don't know.
it depends. So, going back to the original, that's a group call, one-on-one call, Zoom call, recorded video. What is that? What's the delivery of the product mentorship?
Uh, you get two like one-on-one calls per month.
Okay. So it's like probably like a Zoom call or something there or thereabouts. So then membership, what's your thought process on that? Or what's your idea of what that's going to look like? What would that
Uh,
be?
I was thinking of it could eventually turn into a membership, or we can create something separate because the membership is like it has the community aspect, right?
Yes. Yeah. You can add it to that. Yes. That may be perfect for what she's doing, in all honesty. And I personally, I've only created one community in here, and I did one. This is before communities existed. I did a membership site, membership in here, and I had 60 videos. That was ridiculous. Um, as part of the video series in the membership. Memberships are thought of to be used more for video, series of videos, trainings, like classes, if you will, but they don't have to be. You can also add, upload documents and have them available related to that particular video, that lesson, so they can download the PDF to follow along, whatever. That has checklists on it, things like that, and it will track their progress. And with memberships here in PeakConnector, you can charge them to access the membership area. And so you could use that literally as your gateway for her mentorship program because it's already going to charge them. It's just that would be a decision to make. One of the things that needs to be done is just understand it first, not media memberships. So,
Yeah, definitely need to understand it more.
yeah, I mean, groups came in later after memberships, and that confused me personally. I was like, well, what do I do with that? It's like, what is that? Well, if you go to groups, I'll bring up mine here in a minute. It's funny, sometimes it's instant, sometimes it just takes it a while. If this happens, a lot of times I would either hit refresh or I'll go up and just highlight the address and hit enter, and it just kind of kicks it in the butt and it wakes it up sometimes. And this is true of many online programs. So this is the one and only that I have. This is the one you guys access for the mastermind for all the replays. That's what I'm using it for right now. It's not tied to a membership that I'm aware of. It might be actually, but you can. This is think of a community slash the group as an extension of a Facebook group. It is like a Facebook group, very much like one. And these are great to build your own internal communities that can never be shut down by Facebook. That's the one thing I find better or most appealing to it over anything. There's another thing they've done very recently was they created what's called this Go Collab Marketplace, where you can actually submit your community to it. It's a publicly accessible area, searchable. There are hundreds and thousands of community slash groups in there now, and here we're gonna kick it. It's like, let's go. There, it's doing it now. Whenever it updates fast, I know it's gonna load pretty soon. So you can submit your community onto this thing called Collab. I've never Go Collab. Before this started, I didn't know what it was. So it says add your community to the Collab ecosystem. So it's discoverable by hundreds of thousands of users. So if you have something you want to be public facing, so this is another reason to consider using a community for, it's Michelle, right? Did I get the name right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be probably the go-to way to do her mentorship program, no matter what you end up putting inside of it. But you could put in, like if she does tip of the day or anything like that, that could be added into this community and get, I don't know if she has a large following or a large number of clients already, but whoever she has that's active, you'd want to add them in there manually. There's ways to simply send an invite and they just accept the invite and then they're in. That's how you guys ended up in the one we're running here. So you see 11 members. I clicked on it and oh, well, look at that. So you just, who's that handsome guy right there? It's all got him all squatty. That picture was mushed on him. There was somebody we know. But yeah, so the members come in this way. You can, here it is, invite members, and you do it by email. So this is meant to be more of, looks like it's outside of a CRM to everyone involved. It's more like a Facebook type thing. And so when you go to invite members, you don't just invite users that are part of your CRM, which I thought, oh, bummer, because I could just drag them or search for them in here. You literally got to re-enter their name, find their email address, and put them in there. But that reminded me that, oh yeah, this is really meant to be outside of PeakConnector and used for, like it is, a community, a separate community.
And there was also a courses tab on there, Brian. I would assume that's the same thing. You could set up a course and invite people to either buy or participate in a free course.
Gordon, I didn't know you were telepathic, brother, but I'm certain you are now. Because literally, I opened it up. I was just going there. So this big checkerboard or 9 dots, I don't know what the official name of that is. I know there's a hamburger menu. That's not this. Anyway, here's where you can go to communities, courses, and if you have affiliates with it as well. This is the part that does confuse me. Like, how do you build this and organize it? And it doesn't mean you have to have any courses in here, though. You don't. Communities, what does that go to? Okay, it goes back to, this is called the community or group. And then affiliates. Let's see what this does. No affiliates. So that's affiliates, I'm guessing, to this community if you charge for it and or the membership. I just don't know those details. That part has always confused me. Since they added communities, it just went, oh no, now what do I do with this thing? And so that would be something I would hammer support about that. Notice the support button goes away. There's nothing there because we are now outside of PeakConnector. That was another aha moment. So go back here and, I would go to the knowledge base and start looking for this. I would go on YouTube and do things like, how do I, show me the entire flow or go to ChatGPT and say, show me the entire flow of creating a community and a membership and the whole thing around surrounding how it works and then put Go High Level, because this is all built on Go High Level. And I would do the research that way. I would also do it on ChatGPT for sure. My gosh, Poppy is like, it's got answers for everything. I mean, I know I talk about this a lot, but it's really this. I was working on it today. So there's a guy named Alex Harmozy. He has this closer framework, a way to do sales on the phone, and I just fed it some videos and a picture, an image, and this thing came up with everything I should be doing, what questions to ask, what not to say, what to say, when to say it. I was like, thank you very much. So I now have that for these calls that I have coming up to better refine my sales process. So there's tools outside of PeakConnector that you can use to help you with PeakConnector for your products and services. But so I always go off on those little tangents. You can actually issue certificates like completion certificates and stuff. People love that stuff. And here you got communities and you got courses. And it gets better. Then there's this client portal. That's basically where they go to log in. Like, what's that for? What is the relationship? How does this work? That's been a confusing part to me. I know that doesn't make you feel all warm and fuzzy there, Sierra, but
Something to explore, I guess.
so one of the cool things about this mastermind, we're going to grow. I brought on a new client just the other day, and I've got sales calls racked up now, and we're going to be growing. And one of the great benefits from this is going to be people like you, Sierra, that are going to go in and find the solution, and then you can later share it with this group, because I'm sure everyone's interested in how this works. I know I'm interested. The questions Gordon asked, and then when I brought the answer, that helped teach everybody. So it's not just me. please, no, it's not just me. Obviously, I don't know everything. You can tell by going through this part of it. And that's why there's strength in this group. That's why I brought this to be part of the Peak Connector product so that we all had a place we can go to and basically, meld minds, mastermind, and see what we can do to help each other and get our questions answered. It was another mastermind group I was in with Gordon, another mastermind, where one of the members made a suggestion to me on what I'm charging for Peak Connector, and that's when I got all these appointments. That helped because I was not charging the right amount. Just one example. So masterminds are very powerful. Been in them for years, different ones, some large, some small, mostly small now, which is I prefer. It's pretty nice. But
Well, this is a nice revelation that you can build a course here because I'm paying for a whole separate piece of software to
what is
host to host a course and
what's
inviting people into that.
what's
What-
what's the product name if you don't mind?
the product is Podia, Podia.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah, you don't
It's
need to do that anymore. You
Yeah,
can
it's designed for hosting courses. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there like that. Podia was reasonably easy to use and relatively inexpensive, but shoot, I'm already paying for Peak Connector. I could have done it here.
yes.
Yeah, I see that. And you can import from Kajabi, which is kind of
That's
cool.
the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Sarah.
Kajabi, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's one of the most
that's the
popular.
gold standard out there. It's been around for years.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of people are using Teachable too,
Teachable's another good
which,
one.
yeah.
So here's what it looks like for one that was completed. This was my 60 video series that I put in here. And so just so you can see, this is from your viewpoint as an admin that builds it. And these are all the instant, I guess I saw the word instant. These are all the categories and then the underlying courses, videos, etc. that are in there. This is under a different sub account. This was my live video show was called the Mind Body Business Show. Bitty bitty bitty. Can you say it? So there's a welcome. You dig down. There's a video that I uploaded. So now you can kind of get an idea what it would look like. And then you put in any text you want, add files, as you can see here. That's what I meant by putting in like PDFs. You can add Google Doc links in here if you want. That seems to be more popular these days than PDFs. All
Can you
kinds of.
show us the preview of what it looks like?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. Oh, there it is. Oh, thank God it had a button. Because this is defunct. I'm not using this anymore. But this is the way I laid it out, and this was a long time ago when they've gotten way better at adding better aesthetics to it or your own aesthetics. But this is the way it was back then. And so, you would just watch this video. Man, I spent a lot of time on this stuff. Look at that. I had animation. That opened up every one of them. Look at that. Oh, man.
Hey everyone, Brian Kelly.
Who's that skinny young guy? Jeez, and no hair on his face. So, compared to now. So that would go through, and then they would say, mark is complete, and they'd go into this. Congratulations and welcome. And then you'd go to the next, and then the next, and then the next. Oh, it's not letting me mark as complete because this is preview. And I just did it for that one. How do I get back? Oh, I think it's a new tab. Yeah.
So now you could probably have a better background than just all that blank white space. You could even set it up on a web page or do something through
Yeah, that
CSS to make it look better.
I hope so. I mean, like I said, it was a long time ago, and I know they've been
Yeah.
putting a lot of work into it. And that was one of the biggest requests I saw coming in through the group, the master group at high level. I was like, yeah, I'm with you all. And it's been a long, long time, so I can only imagine it's probably. I've seen other people's courses, to be honest, though, that I'm pretty sure they're being hosted on high level, but they don't look like it, which is a good sign. They looked like they were somehow customized. But that's where I would go. Here's customize. I don't know. You can start with an actual template. Oh yeah, they have. I think there were two when I did it. So they have four, which isn't a ton. And you can change all the colors and pictures and stuff. But the layout's what I look at. Which layout do I want? Like here's just looks like a grid of pictures, like a blog almost. Oh yeah, I've seen this approach where everything's on the left. Andy Audate does this one. right there. You can see, it's hard to see, but all the navigation's on the left and then a large space on the right. So you can see where you're at all times. I like that personally. And this is a more pictorial. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Looks like, yeah, you can do kind of what you were saying there, Gordon, is customize it to your color needs. Something to give a whirl. Communities has
I didn't
7.
even see that. How did you get to those templates?
It's
Oh,
it's
you hit customize. Just kidding. I see it.
you see it? Where do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Never mind.
What? Oh, you're looking on your own?
Yeah, I couldn't. I was trying
Dang,
to figure out how to,
that's
because it
awesome.
looked, when I went to edit, it looked boring. But then I found
Ah,
where you just were.
cool. I don't remember where I just was. Custom. There it is, right there. So once you're in it, you can customize. And they have what is it? Offers. Let's see, courses offers. Yeah. So then there's offers. So that's the entire course, and there it was. It was 5 grand, and so you can do that, and you can charge money or you can make them free, and you can make them monthly, one time, whatever you feel like you want to do. There's certificates. Oh, comments. That wasn't part of it in the beginning. I don't know what details is, but that might be the branding part, I'm guessing. Yeah, there's the logo, customization. So I just remember this was not the most straightforward thing, but if you beat at it hard enough and long enough, you'll figure it out and get it going. And that's what I did. It just took perseverance. But once it's together, oh my, you've got something that's very valuable. This is one of the, I keep hearing this is one of the number one ways to make money online is through membership sites. And so, a lot of people are like, well, I have a product. How do I cram in that into a membership site? Well, that's probably not the best way to go about it. But I think what Michelle has is probably ripe for this. And as she does her mentorship, maybe she can record them all. This would be an idea, and she probably does record them all, but if she's not, record them all, at least audibly, and put them in a library somewhere on her computer, and then at some point, go to Pabbly Pabbly is probably one of the best just because you can use files directly right now anyway, ChatGPT, and say, hey, I want to create 1-minute video clips of tips of the day, and then you just drag and drop all those audios in there, and it will pull the information and do it for you. And then she can shoot the videos. It'll give her the script if you want it. So it makes life is a lot easier than it used to be as far as content creation. I use this thing, Poppy, almost every day, if not every day. I'm already halfway through my credits, and because I just beat on it. I love it. I mean, look at all this stuff. It's like, and there's multiple chat windows based on what I want it to be answering me from. So I got lines flying all over the place. That's funny. These two came down. Oh, I know why. Just pictures is all I wanted. Yeah, so this board is my most busy. Gosh, that thing is just in the wrong way. Wrong place.
So is that multiple projects, or are you pulling all that diverse content into a single project?
Single project in this case.
Hmm.
So this is the project right here. They call them boards.
Right.
That all of that is in that one board. I have another one, this is building a book. It's usually one at a time. So we pull in I have up 200 shows. I think I talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's another project. And so I'm getting a book written for me with that automatically. Well, somewhat automatically. My team is doing the legwork, which isn't difficult. You take a URL, you copy it, you click anywhere on this board, you hit Control V and paste it, and it instantly starts pulling in the information, transcribing it, and then you drag it over here and say continue writing the book the way I told you before. I just do one page at a time because it burns a lot of credits with a 1 hour show is a lot of transcription. Where was it? Back here. There's this one that you may be familiar with. Where'd it go? There it is.
Yep.
Wow, it's taking a while this time. It's been a while since I visited it. Maybe it's not happy. There it is. So this is before they had this group feature. I could have just dropped a lot of these in a box, this group, and don't have all these lines and making it look all nasty, but they're continually already upgrading it. I think you have this too, Gordon. You
Yeah,
have
I do.
yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't use it as extensively as you do it.
And you could literally, if you don't want to type stuff in, you can. I've done this where I
You can
recorded in the
speak it.
microphone.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
cool feature.
And what it does under the hood is it transcribes everything into actual text, including images. So if you have an image, I just did this again today. I've done it before. Like I'll give you an example. These three are images. They are screen snips. I just used my snipping tool on Windows and then pasted it in here, and it does what's called OCR, optical character recognition. Oh, it's up higher. The one I just did was this one, so you can actually. Oh, I guess I need to really. That is a picture. It's a .png or something. I thought there was a way to make it. Oh, there it is. Plus. Ta-da! So that's the picture, and this was from Alex Hormozy, and I pulled it in, and it pulls all this information as if it was typewritten text, even though it's not. It's just an image. That I don't think you can do with any other Chat GPT like tool that I'm aware of anyway. One thing they got to do is get rid of
Pretty
this pencil.
amazing.
This pencil is in my way. I'm gonna report that. That's almost every day that thing is. I'm like, how do I get to the expand? There it is. I barely got it. So you can get everything in one view if you want with that one button that's hidden. It's this one. Anyway, this is a different tool altogether, but highly recommend it. If anyone wants the link, let me know. And I'm not. This is not a money maker. I'm not doing this for affiliate fees. Look, I'll earn $50, which I'll never turn that down. But you get to save 25 if you go through my link or Gordon's link, either one. You'll save $25. Good. I get to save somebody money. I feel good about that. If you want it, go through my link to save money, not from Brian to make money. PeakConnector. Okay, back to courses. Cool. I love how these just kind of organically take their own life and go down a certain path. It's kind of fun. So Sierra's thinking hard. I see smoke coming out of her ears. So what's coming up?
Have you heard anything about like Outlook emails bouncing?
Yes,
Okay, do you know if anything's being done about that?
that is not a CRM issue. That is an Outlook email policy issue. It's their issue. They're the ones that are keeping emails from being delivered. And all you can do is do the best you can to make sure your emails are. There's a lot behind this. You know, there's a DKIM record, there's DMARC record, there's information that need to be set up on the email address you are using to send out emails from. And then there's a warm-up period. You want to have that email have been in existence for some time and have already a history of sends and replies. And so there are now email warming tools out there. I use something called Instantly for that, for new email addresses. You want that to run for a minimum of 2 weeks before you ever use it. And then once it's warmed, quote unquote, you still should only send around 30 to 50 emails a day in the very beginning and slowly ramp. It's gotten insanely difficult to get in the inbox of any. I mean, Gmail's gotten horrendous. I would send an email from one of my Gmail addresses to another of my Gmail addresses, and it goes into the spam folder. I'm like, what are you doing? Even after I would say not spam, and I'd do it again, went and spam again. Like, what do you do? So it's maddening. It's gotten harder and harder to get emails to be delivered, and I don't know if they're just going to, be so constrictive you can never email anymore. I've said this so many times in so many places where you have an opt-in on your page. Someone goes and types it in, knowing and wanting you to email them, and it will go in their spam. And it's like, it's hair pulling. That's why I always collect a phone number. This is a very important hack. If I've said it before, that's okay. Repetition leads to mastery. That I now require every single time on every form a phone number, a cell number. Why? Because odds are it's not going to get delivered. They're not going to see it anyway, the email. And if they're not willing to give me that information, then maybe they're not strong enough of a potential client. They're not an action taker. They're not someone who trusts other people. They're just, there's a lot of psychology. The bottom line, though, is using PeakConnector for that form is the first thing you give them, you respond with an email in your workflow. So the form is submitted. The first step in the workflow is send email. I then put in a wait for 2 minutes, and then I send a text message follow-up letting them know that the email or the information they requested is in their inbox. Please check your spam folders. That was my hack. I did this years ago before it got really bad with the spam. I used that technique when I had ActiveCampaign before PeakConnector. ActiveCampaign was the only one out there at the time who mixed email and texting in a automated workflow kind of situation. So anyway, I've done that for years. And then just be very sparse in your text messaging. I learned this too. People have figured out what that word stop does. And they've gotten really good at stopping text messages from getting to them. And so when it's an appointment kind of thing, I send them a text the first transmission to make sure they got the email. And then I'll send them another one right at the beginning or very close to the time of the appointment itself. And that's it. I don't text them other than that. So be sparse with your texting, which leads me to why more and more I am really thinking and hoping this voice AI agent is going to be the wave of the future, or at least part of, because the phone calls get through. There's no way to block them unless they put them on a do not call list, and then those take, I don't know, weeks or months to finally process. I don't know how that works, but this is going to, I don't know, I just have that feeling this is going to be the wave of the future. I know AI is, period. Everybody, I think, knows that. And then there's conversation AI. That's just this chat bubble. Not this one, but they're on websites. But yeah, voice AI is one of the keys. And an update. Do you guys want to hear an update on voice AI that I just heard from a very, very knowledgeable source? I shouldn't have gone away. And that is, let me open up Miss Rachel. This outbound call. I think I announced the other time that we were looking at second quarter. I just learned that may not be till the third quarter now. And the reason that I heard is they are working very hard and diligently on ensuring the inbound one is tightened up. This is brand new. This is how they get released here in PeakConnector, which is they just come up with a basic functionality enough to make it usable. They release it, and then they continually refine it and improve it. And that's what I've seen. Membership sites are a great example. We just went through that. Anything new doesn't come out perfect, but it does come out usable. And so inbound calling, I don't know what else they're doing to it. Right now, for me, it's pretty darn usable, and I don't see much issues with it. But what I heard was they're going to continue to refine this, and until they've got this one nailed, they are then going to work on releasing this. Further details about outbound calling is that you cannot just download a 200,000 client or CSV with phone numbers and just start calling them. It's not going to work that way. The way it was explained to me was it needs to be a natively collected lead. In other words, an opt-in form that was written and built by PeakConnector that collected the address into the account in which you're going to call from. So this create, robocalling is what it would be called if you did not do that. It would be calling somebody without their consent when the rubber meets the road. There are, and then I asked a question of this. This is another mastermind group, by the way. I'm getting in too many of them. I don't have enough time for all this, but it's awesome. Where was I going with this? This and shoot, I lost my train of thought because it was important. It'll come back. Outbound calling, can't call anybody. Yes, okay, I got it. So I asked the question. I said, well, I'm getting opt-ins from this, which is directly integratable and is integrated with PeakConnector. Will that count in their eyes as being a native opt-in? He said, yes, with one caveat. Make sure, so they need to have this little checkbox that says, I consent to getting information from you, including whatever they're going to ask us to put on their phone calls. I don't know. But you get that I consent to use my phone number checkbox in a lot of opt-in forms. It'll be something to that effect. That will need to be there for any contact you wish to then call outbound. is what they're telling me. And then if you're using an external source, which what you see here it's a Peak Webinar Pro, which is not Peak Connector, but it does integrate with it. He goes, oh yeah, it's on what they call, I forgot, they have a library collection of all apps that are already deemed integrated with Peak Connect, Peak Connector Go High Level, and approved and all that stuff. So he knew this is actually called Webinar Kit under the hood. I white labeled it. And so he said, oh, yeah, that one's in, I think he called it the App Store. I can't remember what the name was. And he goes, yeah, that one, they're good. And he said, just make sure that the opt-in, because the opt-in is coming from Peak Webinar Pro, not Peak Connector, and that information is being transferred by automation through the integration under the hood. I don't have to do it directly into my Peak Connector. He said, just make sure they have that consent checkbox, and that consent checkbox is explicitly sent across during the submission of the data into Peak Connector. And as long as that's there, he goes, you should have no problem. I said, okay. So I'm going to go reach out to Webinar Kit and ask if they're doing that, if they're going to do that, and ensure that they do that, because this is the very reason I want to use outbound calling, is to call back people who registered for the webinar automatically. So that was a long-winded answer to a very short question of Sierra's, but I hope that helped. Now my ears are burning, Sierra. Smoking. This is good. All right, we got to hear the voice. He knows who that is. So what do you have coming to us?
Okay.
There it is.
Well, the Mac Studios that are coming out probably in June, the M4s, will have so much memory on them that they will run the largest LLMs on themselves. You won't have to go out anymore to get and use the LLM. So it's a real cool thing, and I'm actually even thinking of co-locating one somewhere and just going after it.
Something language model, large language model. Okay.
Large language, yeah, the AI. It's the basis, it's the package of the AI, right? So
So when
instead of using, I'm sorry?
you said M4, what is that? Is that a Mac?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a Mac guy, sorry. The Studios, their full-blown desktop version.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad. So they're saying that that one, there's a good chance it'll have the same power as a 5090 NVIDIA, and that it'll have like 192 gigabytes of memory on it. So you'll be able to run whatever you want just on that. And you don't have to go out anywhere and give your information out. I'll find the link for you for that.
That's cool. And then, yeah, the other question again would be, can it reach out to external websites for the information in real time?
Right. That I don't know. I'm
Right.
just happy with the fact that I can run it, and the whole computer costs the same as what a 5090 GPU costs by itself.
Oh, I
Here you're
gotcha.
getting the whole computer.
Very cool. It's interesting
Yeah.
how much is being done. You know what a GPU is, right?
Who, me?
Yeah, what it stands for.
A graphic processor unit.
Right. So, what about AI or language models is literally graphic?
It's not, but it uses that to do
No,
it.
it's just interesting how things have changed. It used to be the CPU, which every computer still has, which is a
Hmm.
central processing unit. That's the
Hmm.
brain. And then there was
Hmm.
a GPU that came on a graphics card that would
Hmm.
offset the CPU from doing graphics type processing. And now I'm
Hmm.
hearing GPUs being used for insane, like supercomputer reasons more than because NVIDIA, NVIDIA just went crazy with stuff. It's like, it's interesting just to understand how this has been evolving from it should be the Grand Poobah PU, the GP PU.
Yeah, they integrate that. Yeah, you can use OpenAI if you want. That's going to become open, but they're talking about whatever you want to put on. So I can find that for you somewhere, and it's really cool. That's my next fun thing I'm doing. Mm.
Yeah, and AI is just it's going to continue to be here.
Hmm.
I've used it more now than I ever have, and I'm actually enjoying it. It's really saving a ton of my time. This Poppy thing has been phenomenal. This voice AI. Think about this. Well, no. Yeah, in Michelle's case, I'm thinking about Sierra. I don't know if she would even be interested in using that because she's probably more of a personal, hands-on, and I would understand that, and probably doesn't work with hundreds of or thousands of people, but several, I'm guessing. And so, yeah, it'd be more apt to be a personal approach, so I can get that. But the sooner that you guys can embrace this and figure out a way that it will work for you, the better, because it's going to be like, to me, it's going to be like Blockbuster videos. They didn't go along with the, um, what do they call it? Uh, on demand video, online register renting. And where are they now? They aren't because they didn't go with the technology. They didn't alter their methods. I used to go to Blockbuster to get. It's Blockbuster, right? That was what it was called. Yeah, the videotapes and stand there for hours going through the aisles, sifting through the big boxes of the VHS tapes and all that. And then you got to take them back after you've rented them. Be kind, rewind was all over every one of them. Yeah, back in the dinosaur days. But that's another. I look at AI as being that kind of disruptor. That those that embrace it will continue to survive, and those that don't are either not going to survive or they are going to have a rough go because the competition, anyone who does embrace it, that's the end of it. Your competitors are going to run you over. If that is the case, in Ciara, in Michelle's case, I don't know if that will ever be the case, to be honest. With the way she goes about her business, but for a lot of them, I think it will be a big game changer.
Brian, I'm sorry. I actually was thinking I would be using that because it pays to be on there, on to do that at
Yeah,
least once a month or twice a month. And you know me, I'm going to have a one-on-one program also. So it's one of the ways to bring them in. So actually, I was thinking of purchasing that and using
you already did.
it.
Did you know that? Yeah,
No, no,
yeah. You already have unlimited AI.
the Webinar Pro, I mean.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yes, and I do
Mm.
remember you were saying you were going to be doing that.
Hmm.
And I look forward to when you do that because then I'll help you get it set up because that's a different animal.
Thank you.
And yeah, and they don't have the instant support that PeakConnector does, which would be nice if they did, but they don't. They still do respond. It just takes about a day. But I've learned enough that I could help get you farther faster than if you having to scramble and figure it out. So
Thank you.
a lot of cool stuff. I just used it yesterday. It's fantastic because I can track all their analytics. I mean, oh, it's just awesome. And so I know you have a webinar model, and this would be absolutely perfect for you, the voice AI, in doing just like I'm planning on doing, is the follow-up calls, and then asking them, hey, whatever, you put in the sales script, go to Alex Hormozzi's videos, do it in Poppy, and when I'm done training mine, I'm absolutely going to share all that prompt information with everyone here that comes to these masterminds without any hesitation, because all I want to do is help everyone get to their end goal faster. I just love helping people, and I'm not going to charge you a nickel and dime you for everything along the way. You're part of the family, like it or not. And that's just where my thinking is on all this. I want to really come up with some kick butt stuff and have all of you be at least somewhat in the forefront ahead of your competition. That would fill me. That would just really make me feel great that I helped any of you or all of you. I hope all, but that remains to be seen. So let's see. Um, I have changed the price model of PeakConnector, and I need to go back and do a little bit extra checking. But with that, there will be more affiliate income available. If you want to promote this in any way, shape, or form, you should have an affiliate link, or you should have gotten an invitation to be an affiliate. If you don't remember, if you don't know, let me know, and I'll dig in and find if there is, and then send an invitation if you want it. Right now, I've got it at 10% per month. It's recurring income, and the new price point is 197, so it's $19.70 a month. So if you got 10 referrals, then yours would be essentially free going forward. And I'm going to also implement that in the setup fee side of things. I don't have it set up yet, no pun intended, but the setup fee currently is $347. It's the webinar deal I did just the other day. The full price is a different story, and I do need to hook that up so that all of you can also become affiliates and get more that way. I think I got it at $747 setup and $497 a month. Yeah, $747 and then $497 a month. So that'd be significantly more. But right now, I'm doing some webinar specials and just testing. But ultimately, looking to get to this. This is there. It's live. It's customer facing. They can all see it. That's another thing you want to do in your strategy. Put an actual bona fide price out there and then offer a discount when you do your webinar so that when they hear your product name, what are they going to do while they're on the webinar? What I do, they're going to go research it on the side. Yep. And then they're going to come to PeakConnector and go, wait, you're giving it to everybody for the same thing you're offering now. That's no discount. So you want to be, make sure you're prepared for that. And this is a no kidding, actually cheap price, to be honest, for what you're all are getting. Even if you paid $800 almost and you're paying $500 a month, what is Salesforce costing now? What is HubSpot? They cost more, I think, and you get less. So it's worth it. So I have no issue, and there's a bona fide order form. They can order it right there and pay the full price, and they'll be happy to have it. And so when you do your
Salesforce and HubSpot, after you buy it, you have to pay them another fee to teach you how to use the damn thing.
oh, hey, that sounded familiar. Yeah, yeah, and they're not meant for, I don't think, just starting out small businesses like
Yeah.
all of us here seem to be in that position. But what you have in front of you, this PeakConnector, you don't need it. You don't need that stuff. You got everything you need right here, and more. My God, unbelievable what you have in here. I mean, I just updated this price table to show the comparison, or here are all the things that come included with PeakConnector. It just goes on, and they just keep adding. Here's courses and products. There's reputation management. I touched on that earlier. That's part of the AI employee. And now I started asking for reviews, and you can add requests for reviews in your workflows as a follow-up to someone who has been a customer for, say, a month or two. You don't want to do it right away because they don't know you yet. And then the AI, but when they say, here's my review and type it in, AI will automatically respond to them within a specific amount of time, and it will be a professional response. You don't have to lift a finger, but according to what I've read, that means a lot in Google's eyes when on the review side of the house. So if people are putting in reviews and you as the business owner aren't responding in a timely manner, that actually goes against you. It's less, I don't even know what they call it, points, health, whatever. So that's in here. I started using that just recently, messing with that. I haven't added it to any workflows yet. I need to be able to clone myself like 5 more times. That's all I need. Phone operator. So this is where the AI stuff starts coming in. Social media manager, content writer. This is all AI stuff. Sales funnel expert. And so you see the price goes up because that would be a human being, or these tools by right here. But yeah, this is what it would really cost if you were to use every single one of these services. It cost around $12.5 per month. So it's definitely worth it. For most of us, we're not using 10% of this right now. So that price may not be worth it to most of us that are in this room at this moment. But knowing you can do all this and you can implement it, and as you scale your business, as you bring in more employees and VAs, you can task them to start implementing these things. And then you will be using them. You should be using. But don't get crazy. Get good at what your focus is on now. Get it dialed in, get it locked in, then move on to another feature, because there's too many here. This will make your eyes roll in the back of your head, and you'll never get that one done. That's been the biggest feedback I've gotten from people that come into this thing because there is so much. Like Gordon, what did you just do recently? You just used a brand new feature. Uh, I haven't even used it to its fullest. I've tested it. Do you remember? Do you know where I'm going?
Oh, the contracts. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe tell us about that. You want to showcase it?
Uh, well, not now because I've got another meeting in 2 minutes, but I found it to be really pretty easy to use. I had a standard contract that was like 7 pages with graphics and all of that. But it was on a PDF, so I had to rewrite it into the Peak Connector contract form. But it came out really nice and it's easy to use. Brian helped me test it, drag the signature block in, and we were able to send it back and forth automatically. It was just like DocuSign or any of those, but here it is included in the program.
Yeah, so Sierra, I think Michelle could make use of this for every one of her new clients and be the part of the contract. So it electronically signed documents are legally binding, and
Yep.
she has that at her beck and call right now. No more sending it off in an email and then okay, then sign it, scan it back in, and fax it back it to me or email it to
Yeah.
us. Like
And it never gets
no,
done. Yeah.
we're going through currently right now because of this past hurricane last year, two hurricanes. We're going through two claims, two different insurance companies, and everything so far, 100% of all documentation has been electronic signatures back and forth. And it's just great. I don't
Yeah.
have to drive anywhere. I don't have to get a notary. I mean, even notary is done somehow electronically. I don't know how they're doing that. Anyway, it's a great thing to have. And
Brian, I got to go. I'll
all
talk to you
right,
later. Thank you. Good meeting.
thanks, Uncle G. Love it. Yeah, so those are another great thing to have at your beck and call. I mean, just DocuSign alone, go look at the pricing on that. I forgot what it was on that table, but you guys have it. It's in there. You have Calendly, right? And you have a better version than Calendly. Calendly doesn't interact with a workflow that I'm familiar with, unless they added that at some point later. Back when I was using calendars in the early days, it didn't have that. Yeah, it was just golly. Where is it? Documents. I don't see. Is there a docu? Anyway, it's in here somewhere. I know it's in here. Content. Right there. It is. Online contracts. Right there. 33 a month. Okay, not that much money, but you're not paying an extra 33 a month. Like everyone on here, you're paying not much more than that per month, and you're getting everything including that. So just yeah, it's just a no-brainer. I'm not trying to sell Peak Connector. You already sold to it, but just know that you have one powerful, wonderful CRM under your belt, and use it. Use it to
Wait,
the
so are
max.
you selling it for 497 or 197? I'm
So
confused.
that's okay. No, no, I confused you, and that's all my fault.
What's the strategy here?
So what I'm doing currently, so here's the apps. The actual price is 747 one-time setup and 497 a month. I'm currently conducting a webinar, and I have been doing this for a while. And I offer them a discount of, well, this is the wrong one. Let me see, where can I find that? Let me find it real quick. I've got a whole different page for that. That is VA, it is AI, it is, that was a voice, that's voice, that's what I want. Voice AI demo. There it is. I know I have the link tied to this page. All right, so the replay of the webinar is actually right here. This is just from yesterday. And if they click this order now button, because they watched the webinar, and here's my dual offer now where I have now also let them schedule a call with me. They get two choices. But see, here's the coupon code. It says 747. I click the apply, and the one-time setup fee is $397. And then the monthly fee is in the webinar special. It's right here, $197 per month. So I'm giving them a discount of $350 on the sign-up fee, and then $300 per month discount on the monthly fee over what they would realistically should be paying.
Got it. Can they
And
waive the setup if they wanted to, or
could they?
no? They have to pay for that.
They have to because I incur charges myself. I've hired a crew. I think you and Michelle went through yeah, you went through a bunch of them. There were two setup calls. I think you ended up going through four or something or more uh, that are part of it. I pay for that. I pay dearly for that. And then I've added on for the webinar, I add a third call with me personally. So that adds more to the value, and that's just my time because of a specific workflow that gets installed in their back office. It probably got added to Michelle's. It's about chat automation, and I will go in and help them finish it after they get all their setup done. So yeah, it takes some time and money for the setup, but there's no other better way
Gotcha.
to do it than have it guided like you guys went through with the Zoom calls. I've found no better. I mean, there are all these things out there where you can go step by step and do it yourself. Like, no, if you miss one thing or you get one thing wrong, you could be pulling your hair out forever because this thing is so powerful. You miss one dotting of an I or a crossing of a T, and things could not work in the worst way, and you don't know how to fix it. And I said, I'm not going to leave people to do that on their own ever. I'm just going to have a team walk you through it. And so that comes at a price. But it's a price I'm okay with, and everyone who comes on is okay with, because what would the price be if you did it yourself and you had to go through that hell? It'd be a lot higher in time and aggravation. So having been through all this myself, I literally, and I say this on the webinar and I mean it, I literally hired my own team. I paid them to set up my accounts. And this is after I already did it myself. I had them go through it, and I wanted to know, what did I miss, because features are changing, things are being added, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it was an eye opener. I was like, okay, I'm sure glad I did that. And I wanted to experience what everyone else was experiencing firsthand. And it was one of the best things I could ever. I said, oh, I am never gonna let somebody do this on their own. It's just, I'm here to help you guys get to success as fast as possible. All right, I went off on a
Right.
tangent.
So that 397, does that include the first month, or is that just for the setup and they have to pay the monthly separately on this
I
form?
love the way you think. Yeah, that's your first month is included. So
Oh, so it's 397 total for the first month and the setup.
you got it.
Got it. Okay.
So the
Just
way
want
I
to make
say
sure.
it is slightly different. So it's a 397 setup fee. Your first month subscription of 197 is waived, is included. So it's truly a
Got it.
setup fee, but it's like a 1 month trial, if you will, or free. Your first month is free, kind of thing. So I just word it differently, but it's exactly the same thing when the rubber meets the road.
Got it. My gripe about these forms in the funnels is, why does it only have full name and not first and last name? Like, drives me insane.
That's a good point. I don't. You might be able to. I don't know if you can actually modify that. That's
You can't. You have to do a custom form, which is what I
okay.
ended up doing. Because I don't want to have to go in and change all of the names and the contacts,
Yeah,
the first name, last name.
I'm with you. I love separating first and last name on every single form. I never put full name because they might just put something stupid, and then I make them both required. I want to know what their first name is because my automation is going to use that first name in all of our correspondence, email, text. So that's why I love
Right.
separating them. They may just put in D, or something, what their nickname is, or just their last name. People go by their last name, and so I don't know. It's I'm with you. That's a boy.
Yeah.
That's a good request to put in.
I had a long chat with support about that. I'm like, why don't you have it like that? Like, that's messed up. Because if someone's already in your contacts, it's gonna create a new contact with the first name in the,
No, okay. So
isn't
how
it?
that? Let's see. That's a good one. It might update them. So there are two. This is good.
Oh,
There are two key fields. Keys are like a database term, but there are two key fields that PeakConnector uses to identify all of your contacts. One key field is email address, the other is phone number. If those two match and this doesn't, yeah, it'll update to whatever they just put in. So your gripe is very founded and very proper. Um, yeah, and if they, I don't know if they put in it acts different on different situations. I've had duplicate contacts come in because one time they had a phone number, the other time they just had an email address or weird things, and I'd have to go in. We do have the ability, if you ever see two people come in by the same, it's the same person but slightly different information. You can do what's called a merge, and that is available in here. And I've done that several times when I'd see something, especially when I was, it's funny, when I was running this show, that's when it mostly happened. But you go to contacts, and you need to select two of them. Just consider these two to be the same, and there is a merge up here somewhere. Ugh, my eyes. There it
Yeah.
is. Merge up to 10. I don't know why you would ever do 10, but so you can merge and it will give
Well,
you,
trust me, I've needed 10 before already.
oh man. So what you can do is you can decide which of those 10 is the master phone field, the one you want to use for all for when you the merge is over. Then which one is the email address that you know is the right one. Then which one is the right first name and last name. And then when you hit merge, it'll put them all together and you're done. You only have one contact until the next time they fill out another form and screw it all up again on you.
Right. But it doesn't keep, like, say they put like their secondary email address for one contact, it doesn't keep that other email if you merge it. It just gets rid of it, doesn't it?
Oh, I
It's
don't
like,
know.
say I just want to put it as like a secondary email for like future, just to
Oh,
have or whatever.
they do have a secondary email field though. Um,
They do if you're going to like merge from a CSV, but I couldn't find it in here when I was just scrolling through. I had to create one.
what?
It's called like additional phone and additional email. Like when I was putting in the CSV, I could mark it to those fields, but I couldn't find it in here.
Huh.
So I just had to make one.
Yeah, I thought there was a secondary. I thought they added that a while
Yeah.
ago.
It's
Uh,
called additional
yeah, I'm in the
something.
additional field, but
It's not
okay.
there.
Now I have so many custom fields, it would take me a lifetime to find it sometimes. So these are my own. Yeah, blah blah. No, it might be that, and I don't think so. Yeah, I know what you're saying though. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I've been using this thing for quite some time. I had a lot in here. All right. Um, I don't know. That would be good to use. Now you got me going. But I'm not going to do it here. General info. Yeah. Yeah,
It's not even under additional info, which is where you would think it would be, right?
that's the first place I went when you started saying it. I'm like, wait, that's in here.
So those
Okay.
emails that I added to like additional emails and additional phone numbers, I don't know where they are. So that's why I had to create a whole nother field and put them there.
Huh. Where did I see that? Secondary email address. Oh well. Hmm.
Yeah, let me know if you find it. Maybe it does exist.
Unless they for some reason got rid of it. I can't imagine. I'm just trying to think, is it this tool that I saw that or another one? Use too many. Um, all right. How is, real quick, let's see, we're already over time, but I'm okay with it if you are. Boyan, Ciara, Efren. Actually, Efren, you don't, this wouldn't pertain to you because I'll get it. Hold on. Adrian, got it. Adrian is already using it, but there is a phenomenal approach to getting leads, to getting them to, say, an appointment, a webinar. I don't know if Michelle's doing webinars. Maybe she should consider it to bring people to her. Uh, but it's a LinkedIn approach, a strategy that just hit its stride for me personally for the first time in several months. And it's been awesome. And I just held a webinar. I had a sale on the spot first time, and that was with the slightly increased price because I got the information or the idea to do that from another mastermind. And then on top of that, I added doing the call, the dual approach, like I was telling you guys earlier. This one where you can either buy it now if you're ready, or if you need to consult with a spouse, significant other, a business partner, or you just have a few questions, I'm more than happy to talk to you for 30 minutes and we'll see if you're a fit. And if you're not, I'm not going to pressure you to buy it. And so because I added that one thing, I ended up getting 6 appointments. And I'm like, wow. And that was all suggested to me almost every week on our calls by the woman who runs this LinkedIn lead strategy program. And I kept saying no because I modeled my webinar after a guy who was successful at selling a Peak Connector like product. And so I said, I'm modeling him. I'm going by what he does. And I kept listening. I kept not listening to her. And finally I said, you know what? I think I'll add it. Because long term, I didn't want to have to get on calls, sales calls. I just want this webinar to sell it and then put it on auto replay and be done. That'll come later. Once I did this and followed her direction, bingo, I got 6 sales calls coming up. Actually, 5 now, 5 more.
Well, I
So,
was gonna ask, are you doing those webinars live every time or is it a
yes,
recording?
I'm doing
You
live
are.
right now.
Okay.
And here's, you want to hear strategy behind that a little bit? I don't want to peek. It was that one we were looking at earlier. I used these. So there we had, wow, that went up even more. This was the one I just did yesterday. And I do them live, but this Peak Webinar Pro, you can do either or both. You can do live or you can do evergreen, they're called, the recorded ones. This is always also integrated that once you've done a live and it stores the chat. I think you can see chat. There it is. And you can export that, or you can create an evergreen from this previous webinar, and all the chat will show up and they will actually go in like they are in real time being chatted with, which is nice. It gives it that feel that someone's there. And then you can have someone of your team or you yourself monitor it and literally answer questions live during a recorded webinar, stuff like that. So, but I'm not there yet. I want the live webinar to be the one. I'm waiting for that one that I said, that was it. We crushed it. Good. I'm going to use that one going forward. And then you put in the work to do evergreen. My plan is to go hybrid and do a live and a recorded choice. They'll either get, we're going to go live. Some people want to be on live, period. And I'm currently only doing them once a month. With the way our registrations just started growing, my goal is to get to once a week, and I will do them live. I have absolutely no problem with that for now. And then, once I decide, you know what, I just want to go out on a boat and be gone for a couple of weeks, then I'll turn on the evergreen and just leave it that way for a little bit. But the strategy is to go live. One of the first questions, I wonder if it's in there. One of the first questions one person came on, not analytics, you knucklehead, was literally, he said, "Is this live?"
Is this live?
Yep. They
That would
want to
be
know.
me. I want to know if I'm talking to a real person or a
Yes.
recording.
Yes. There's no Carlos live, so there's one of them. There it is. So this is at the bottom. These are the first chat messages going up. The third one is this live, and then yeah. So I asked him a question that he answered yes, and then said, "Is this live?" And then Aaron, oh, and this is Carl. This is a pre-recording? See, they're privy to it, and you know what? If it was, and I was a moderator or I had somebody doing it, I'd say, be truthful. Yeah, it's a recording. Don't try to pull the wool over their eyes. Let's say it's a recording, but I'm here live moderating for you. You can do stuff like that, and I'm here live to answer questions here in the chat. And if you have further questions, we can schedule a call later. All that good stuff. But the cool thing with this is it's autopilot. This last webinar, I'm refining it. I spent 20 hours this past weekend, literally revamping it because I'm using someone else's content, and I finally decided to make it more mine. And that's why it went better, because it was more authentic to me. But the problem was I didn't have time to rehearse it, and it was a 98-minute scheduled webinar. It went 40 minutes past that. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And the drop off happened right before the big juice came. Like, okay, note to self. But I've already, in that light, I've gone to Poppy and I've asked Poppy. I told it I got a webinar. I was 40 minutes over. It was supposed to be 90 minutes. And I fed it my slides, my latest. Oops. Uh-oh, that's going to play. No.
All right,
No.
welcome everybody. I see the link is
Stop.
up.
There it is. That's the actual recorded webinar. So I did all this last night or yesterday. I added this to my group that has everything to do with the webinar, and I fed it into a couple of chats. That one, I don't know which one I did it in, but I told it that it went too long. Please give me ideas on where to cut out unnecessary things and be as detailed as possible. And it did a great first cut. So I have what I need to go in slide by slide and make the adjustments. It was over 200 slides, which that by itself isn't the problem. It was Brian's blabbing. But I have literal notes written on every slide, and I literally read them all because, again, it wasn't my content. If it was mine, I wouldn't have to read. I can just put bullet points and I can go from there. But I've spoken on stage. When it's someone else's, it's a lot more difficult to do that. Anyway, gosh, I don't even know what your question was now that I went off of that. What was your?
Uh, oh, I think I just asked if it was live or recorded.
Oh, wow. I went crazy, didn't
It's okay. I enjoy the tangents.
I?
There's some good info in there.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, so I don't know what that means. Registration rate of 18.3. Oh, visitors
How many
to.
showed up, I'm guessing?
No, I think it's 1 in 6. Is that 18? Yeah, that's probably about 18%. That's it. Registrants based on visitors versus visitors. And then 86% of the people who registered attended. We had 300, almost 400 registrants before it started on another, it was in PeakConnector. They came through LinkedIn. It's a long story. I don't want to go through all the details right here, but I get a lot of registrants. This is a registrant who went to, like, have you ever been to any kind of webinar or meeting where you click the link, it's starting, you've already opted in, you're part of it, you're getting the updates. They say, okay, we're starting now, and you go to it, and you're like, oh, it's a Zoom registration form. You still have to register again to get in. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is that Zoom form, and that's what this is of all the people that had registered that said, I'm interested, only 111 total actually went through the final process. So about 1/4. It's not bad. 1/4 went all the way through. And so this gives us some vital information. Yeah, and this thing just spiked the last day. I'm going to be asking why that happened. That was awesome. My phone lights up. I have text messages come to my phone whenever someone registers on the form. And about 7 minutes into the webinar, it just went freaking nuts. People were coming. I'm like, why is it? Why are they coming in then? And we're getting this spike of people. Anyway, but all these analytics, these are all the people that are in it. I mean, what was the other one? Oh yeah. This is it's got some very useful information in here. Edit webinar. That's where I want to go. So this is stuff. I have disabled all emails. This is stuff I will show you, Boyan, that Peak Webinar Pro will do all the email back and forth. I said, why would I want to do that when I already have PeakConnector doing it? Now I have 2 different sources of emails. That'd be confusing, coming from different from addresses. I said, I don't need that. I'll just do it all in PeakConnector, which I have done. So I just disabled it. They come default with some of them enabled. And you just disable them and you move on. Toggle, I don't do any. See, these are all turned off because I have high level right here. And so here is where we have integrations, and these are tags. And so it's a two-way communication between PeakConnector and Peak Webinar Pro. And so this tag gets set when somebody registers on that form. And so now I can do analytics and search and respond and follow up. Like this would be one I would use for that voice AI. I'd say, did they register? And how long did they go? Were they over 50%? And did they not order? Given that information, I can send off a bot to talk to them, knowing that information, and say,
Yeah, the outbound thing you were
yes,
talking about.
yes. That's. I mean, I am so ready for this, boy, and I cannot wait. So here it is. Attended. Did they? So they registered. Big whoop. But did they attend? Or it will even give you did not attend. It's kind of like, well, if there is no attended webinar flag tag, that kind of implies they did not attend. But I put it in there anyway, just to be absolutely certain. And then you can tell it, give it a tag if they've watched 25% of the webinar, or 50%, or 75, or 100. So now you get I saw 4 people sat through, those poor suckers, sat through over 2 hours of a webinar. And I could see that. I'm like, wow, God bless you. One of those I have a call with. Huh, interesting. And then clicked webinar offer. I saw some people in there clicked it, but didn't do either buy or schedule an appointment. I could use that information. Go, hey, AI bot, ask them why. They clicked it. What caused them not to go forward? All that good stuff. And then replay. So this has replays. It automatically will, well, not automatically. I do it through PeakConnector. But the link that is generated by Peak Webinar Pro is provided to PeakConnector. I use it as a custom value, and I send it an email and say, okay, the replay is ready. Go watch it here. And I've already had people watching the replay. And then that gets tracked because it's hosted here as well. So you just see, and I'll show you what that looks like. Maybe if I can get up there. Wow. It's like watch, replay. So this is it. I'll just do preview. This is what they'll see on a replay. And then here is the offer. So that takes them to this page like I showed you earlier. And this is the actual webinar. There was a hiccup on my last webinar, and I have already reached out to Webinar Kit support. And so I ended up spending a good hour editing. This recorded it. I downloaded the recording, and I needed to edit it because there was a hiccup. But I got it done, and let's see. There it is, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, right.
This was part of the problem. See how small it is? And then I used Camtasia to pull it in, make it look kind of cool. Ooh, and then it's that way from that point forward. There were several sections where this video part showed up were in a different spot on the screen. I'm like, what? Only on the recording though. The live was fine. I also little insider tip is I log in as if I am a guest on a separate laptop, and I use it as my monitor. I just keep it on mute, and I look over it. When I see things going weird on the live on my side where I'm controlling, when do I play a video? When do I do this? When do I do that? I look over to my monitor PC and I'm like, oh, it's looking fine. I'm seeing weird stuff over here, but as long as they're seeing the pristine version, I don't care what I'm seeing. I mean, it's annoying, but I want to see the pristine version no matter where. But the recording was kind of funky. And anyway, I fixed it. This was, hey, you know that guy? Efren, who is that? Who's that handsome dude right there? You see him? Have you ever seen? Oh, it just went by it. Pooh. It was Adrian. Adrian, he's a star and he didn't even know it right there. See him?
Yes,
That's
I see.
Adrian. You're Cloud 77, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Just making sure. Yeah, that's Adrian. I bet he doesn't even know he's a superstar. So yeah, there you can see all the pricing, and there was the value stack and all kinds of cool stuff. But I'm definitely going to go and strip that down. But here was one of the newest things I added was this, the mastermind, what we're doing now. I didn't have that in here at all. And it was already part of it. I always included it with anybody. And I was like, God dang, after I went through all this, and again, I used Poppy to extract all that. What did I do with that? I took our past recordings, uploaded them to YouTube, and put that YouTube link into Poppy and said, give me all the highlights and all the great things about it. I'm using this in a webinar. And oh my God, it did a phenomenal job. I said, write me the script on what to say to the slides. It did it. It's just, my goodness. But there you go. You got I don't even know if this is accurate. 7 days left to watch the replay, but that's why I put it up on another site on PeakConnector. This is the same exact video. And I do that for the purpose of showing them, hey, but wait, there's more. I want them to see the voice AI. That is so important. And that's with Rachel and give them the number to call and all that stuff. So there's all these cool things you can do with it. Lots. But that's the behind the scenes on the Peak Webinar Pro. And I don't know if you've seen it. Ciara, it's right here. There's someone else I work with. Her name's Kyra. And it's with a C. I'm like, oh, man. But yeah, you click webinars, and there you'll be presented with the page and then sign up and all that good stuff. But it gives a good description of everything. And soon, Boyan will be using it, so we'll have another power user to be in on this mastermind group so he can teach me how to use it better. I can't wait for that.
With the help of Amuna.
But yeah, you can see what it integrates with. There's PeakConnector. So anyway, so all the tools, there is a potential that a webinar platform of some kind, I've been hearing murmurings, it may end up coming in from High Level themselves. And if it does, it will be on this list, and I will probably get rid of this webinar. But it will have to make my grade. If not, I may get rid of the menu item and just keep using Peak Webinar Pro until they catch up. But just want to let you know, I'm an open book because, you could subscribe to this. I think it's 97 a month. And if I get rid of this, I don't make 97 a month, but you get the result you want. I'm happy. I'm not about gouging you guys in every turn ever. Just not wired that way. Maybe that's why I'm not a, gazillionaire right now. But I'm a happy not gazillionaire, so that's okay. Doing okay. Boy, and you got to come up here sometime. Spend some days with us.
Okay, thank you.
That was easy. All right. Well, what's your weekend looking like, brother?
Actually, I'm at Stone and Oak this weekend with a friend.
You're who at where?
Stone and Oak. It's an
Oh,
interesting place, but I actually have a question. I don't know if Efren has something because he's been quiet. I don't want to take because I already asked the question. I guess he's quiet. Okay. About the incoming calls, do you have any idea about when Rachel or any AI agent will be able to do the appointments automatically and not the way that it's doing now?
I did hear something. I know it's in plan.
Okay.
And yeah, the good news is at least she still does it by sending them a link to your calendar that you give it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's been another. Ooh, this is brand new beta. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, I had a call today that was a no-show, but her business was 100% Spanish. And I'm like, I gotta have a Spanish version of everything in here, and I didn't see that in the AI. This was not here just a couple days ago, I don't think. There you go. Oh, this is freaking awesome. Not a ton of them yet, but oh, so you could put in one AI bot to say, para español. I don't know what the press the button is. Dos. For English, press one. Para español, do whatever dos. And then have it transferred to the Spanish AI bot because you can have it transfer automatically as well. It's awesome. Good question though.
Yes, because I'm debating on then getting maybe Vev and the doctors into doing that for appointments
Oh
and getting
yeah.
rid of their scheduler.
Oh yeah. That's another use case the guy talked about the other night in the mastermind was um, that would be those kind of things that are allowed through the system because they're obviously your clients, right? You've got to establish a
Yeah, they're
relationship.
hers. If you go to Hippocratic AI, mean, that's what I'm trying to make this thing do, right? There it is, third one down. Yeah. I mean, that's like 150,000, that's $150 million company.
Ooh.
But where is it? They have it somewhere. Maybe it's down a little more. I'm not at where they actually, where is it?
Did you
Mi-
talk?
hmm.
I think you talked about this before.
Yeah, I did. Test our AI. There it was. It was before. It was at the bottom. I think it
Oh,
says test your AI.
that's what I just clicked on.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, then they changed it. They had a thing where they showed you
Oh.
what it sounded like, and it was
Oh.
really, really cool. So I'm just thinking, can we sort of mimic that? Because if you do that, that's going to be a big thing, a big sell.
Well, I need to know what we're mimicking. I'm not quite sure what it is just yet.
Well, it's like them. It's the inbound call would be making the appointment. The outbound call would be after you have a appointment with the physician. than afterwards. Are you taking your medicines? How are you doing? That kind of thing.
Oh, um, I don't see why it couldn't be used for
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm thinking, to use this as another version. But anyway, I don't want to take your time. It's just something that to think about. Thank you.
Well, you're not taking my time, man. I love this stuff.
Mm.
It's good because that's a use case, right? That's a potential
Hmm.
use case where you can train one, and then, I mean, so much was going through my head at that very moment. One of which is custom values, which could be the medications that you would fill in for that particular client or the patient, right?
Hmm.
And those custom values would be plucked out by the AI agent in real time. Hey, Boyan, did you take your Advil today or whatever that they give?
Hmm. Hmm.
And stuff like that. So that's going
Hmm.
through my head as you're saying all of this, like, and that's coming down the pike as well. Custom
Mm.
values, they're not there at this
Okay.
moment. The other thing that you can do that I asked for as one of my requests was there's a limit to the number of words you can use to train the bots, which I thought I get it, but at the same time, we need more because a lot of times they're still a little off. I got mine dialed in pretty darn good, I gotta say. I mean, it took me hours and hours, but it's worth it because it's set up for good. But
I
this is what
think
I'm
you're saying
talking
it's
about.
2,000 words.
It was, yeah, I don't remember. Ooh, do I dare? Control A X 2000. Yep. So you got only 2,000 words. It sounds like a lot, and
Mm.
it looks like it might be a lot. But one
Mm.
of the things I told it to do, I tested and I said, "Hey, go pull in the information from this Google Doc." So that only took like 20 words to type that in or more, and so that way I could save my words. And it said, "Sorry, I can't do that." Like, oh, bummer. Well, that request I put through to send it to a URL to get its information, it said that's in work, that's planned. So think about that. You can
Mhm.
put, I'm guessing, I don't know if it's going to be, gosh, does that mean we can put endless amount if we need to? And so to train your AI bot, you can use AI to get the information you need to train your AI bot. And I mean, we don't have to write books and books. The thing you just do need to be careful with, as I learned doing this, is read everything that ends up going in here. I mean, I modeled this after someone else's, and then I just completely changed it over time. But you want to be very sure that you've got everything exactly the way it's supposed to be. I did some stuff in here where I missed a couple things. Like, wait, where'd you get that from? And then I'd come back and search for it. Like, oh, there it is. So they listen. They do exactly what you tell them. And but phenomenal, phenomenal. This is the most impressed I've been of any AI I've ever dealt with. Is this voice AI? I've not dealt with those robots in person. If I did, then that would be my number one for sure.
Thank you, Brian.
Those are, jeez, they're scary actually. But you start putting faces on them that look like humans, that's going to be really eerie, which they're already doing. All
They're
right,
already doing it. They're
yeah.
already doing it. It's called Future, the robot.
Now, if they can train one of them to have a voice like Boyan, oh my god.
They
I mean,
have they have Chat GPT open AI inside their brain wirelessly, and they talk to one another.
oh my,
If they make a mistake,
oh, that's mind blowing right there.
yeah, yeah, they're already doing it.
Do they
They're
have to
already.
talk to each other? Can't they just wirelessly transmit their thoughts?
Mm. I'm telling you, it's
Woo!
interesting.
Oh my God. It's going at
Mhm.
breakneck. Yeah. I just want one
Mhm.
that comes into the room when I'm getting ready to settle down for the evening and says, talk to me in Boyan's voice so I can just drift off into wonderful, relaxing sleep.
I guess maybe I'll have to make you a something like that then, if you're so nice.
I'll bet you're one hell of a hypnotherapist.
Actually, I'd like to learn it, use it with the NLP, but I'm going away from this in tangent, and Sierra's probably enjoying the tangent, but
Too much. Yeah.
yeah.
Cancel. Yes. Confirm that cancel. I did not. I got to make sure I didn't goof it up. Good. Yeah. But that's the thing. We can talk about Peak Connector. I mean, we've gone. This is bonus time anyway. But yep, it's probably a good time to call it a night. So, any last go backs, Sierra? I missed the food. Efren? Nope. And then last but not least, Boyan.
Thank you. You're very helpful, and I want to send the mastermind to Mamuna. I know she'll get a lot of good information out of it. Thank you.
Yes. So once this is over and it renders and all that happy stuff, I do some work to put it up on the group and get the email out, but I'll get that out sometime tonight. But thank you again for your assistance on that other matter earlier, Boyan. That was very helpful. Appreciate
You're
it,
very
brother.
welcome. Glad I could always help you.
Yep. Good. You're a good friend.
Thank you, sir.
And Ciara, next time I demand food, okay?
I actually want to go make some right now.
All right, and Efren, next time don't talk so much, okay? Keep it down, brother. All right, good night, all. Have a great one. We'll see you next week, if not sooner.